This is a D6 Generation Pip. Bite-sized content for a busy gamer. Sometimes featuring Craig, sometimes featuring Russ.
Hey, what about me?
Oh yeah, and sometimes featuring Raef, Hollywood Granger.
In great deeds something abides. On great fields something stays. Forms change and pass, bodies disappear, but spirits linger to consecrate ground for the vision place of souls. And reverent men and women from afar, and generations that know us not, and that we know not of, heart drawn to see where and by whom great things were suffered and done for them, shall come to this deathless field to ponder and dream. And lo, the shadow of a mighty presence shall wrap them in its bosom, and the power of the vision pass into their souls. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. He was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for his actions on Day 2 of the Battle of Gettysburg and the holding of Little Round Top. Situated on the Union's far left flank, Chamberlain's regiment, the 20th Maine Volunteers, reduced to less than 400 men, faced elements of several full corps of Confederates. After withstanding 6 determined uphill charges over the course of the day and almost out of ammunition, Chamberlain ordered his men to fix bayonets and charge out of cover and down the hill and into the Confederate lines. They ended up taking more prisoners from 4 separate regiments than they had surviving soldiers to watch them, and many of the 20th Maine were guarding their prisoners with empty muskets. Sound amazing? And that was only one engagement of one day of the 3-day campaign of Gettysburg. And Gettysburg is only one location on our grand Geek Nation Tours Battlefields of the Civil War trip of a lifetime. Go to geeknationtours.com right now and look for the tour starter for Gettysburg and the Battlefields of the Civil War, and join us in creating from the ground up this amazing opportunity. Possible attractions include the battlefields of Gettysburg, Manassas, Antietam, and Harper's Ferry, as well as reenactments, museums, and more. Together, you, me, and Terrace and the team from Geek Nation Tours will create a trip that you will remember forever, all chaperoned by your not-too-horrible host, me. So go and check it out today.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the D6 Generation, now in our quite long-running PIP format.
Indeed.
But we are very excited today because not only are the three of us together live and in person, right, Raef?
Yep, in one room.
Raef, that's some lovely, lovely checkers you're wearing today.
Thank you.
Those are very nice.
He's got a great leather vest on, too.
Yes,
my vestito.
I was trying to think of what they say in England, the Gangnam. Gangnam?
Gingham.
That's it. Gingham. Gangham's a dance.
England?
Gingham?
Gingham. In Gingham style.
Gangnam style.
That's
I think you need a banjo.
Gingham style.
You need a banjo. That's a new
Gangham's a
prediction.
dance.
That's coming out. That'll be an Instagram hit in about a month. Just so you know. So anyway, it's time for the annual. We're all together here in Gingham or not for our annual predictions
For
episode.
Gingham or not for Gingham? That is the question.
It's time, and for long-time listeners, apparently this is a beloved segment, so we keep doing it.
I guess.
I know. It was kind of the, because I remember when we very first did this, it was like, this is just a dumb idea.
Nobody's going to care.
No one's going to care what 3 nerds think is going to happen next year.
I think Craig's
And here
famous
we are.
quote 10 years ago, however long ago, is he's like, nobody likes navel gazing.
No, we're not. We're gazing into the future. We're looking over our navels.
Okay.
We are.
Into the future.
We are looking
We're
past
beyond-
our navels.
We're beyond navels.
Through the navel.
Through the navel.
through the navel.
Past the navel. So anyway, so as folks may remember, how we do this is we divide this over 2 episodes nowadays. So the first episode, first PIP that we're doing today, what you're hearing right now, we're going to look at the results. We took copious notes last year.
Yes, we did.
We did this about the same time, probably a little earlier, actually. I think it was earlier in December. We're recording now for posterity. We're recording on December 20th. So all predictions will be in the context of what was happening in the world on December 20th, 2022.
A lot of twos in this date.
A lot of twos. If we waited 2 more days, it'd have been a great number.
Oh, yes.
Then it'd be too close to Christmas, and
It would have been annoying.
It might not have happened.
So, here are the rules for
Yes.
scoring and the rules for the contest overall. Because as gamers, we don't just predict stuff. No, we actually have a game around this, and we have winners and losers. And I am not too proud to say I've been losing a lot the last few years. I think...
We'll see. We'll see about that.
It's been quite a bit of time since I even scored respectably. I think I've been third place.
You do manage to
scrape
defy
the bottom.
math.
And I don't know. That's because last few years, though, I have been picking like this theme, like a musical theme.
Yeah.
Or some
Everything
kind of
is themed.
I threw that out because I feel like it wasn't
Good.
successful.
Yeah. Well,
so that's
wasn't
gone.
helping you. We
That's
weren't
gone.
giving points for style.
No, I got no points for creativity. So anyway, here are the rules. These rules have been meticulously crafted over the years, informed by some amazing listeners out there. And so here are the rules. The first rule of our predictions: all predictions must be quantifiable
Yes.
in some kind of final measure. So when you make a prediction, we will challenge each other to make sure, how do we know if you're right or not? You can't just say a movie will be cool or a movie will be fun. You have to pick something out there, right? Number 2, each prediction you make is going to be worth 1 point. Now, this is the confusing part. So listen to the scoring very carefully.
Confuses me all.
This is a mathematically precise formula that has been refined. So each prediction is worth 1 point, but then plus 1 point for each host who disagrees with your prediction, right? So basically, when we make a prediction, we are going to ask the other 2 members of the esteemed podcast here if they agree or disagree. If they disagree with you, that must mean it's actually a pretty far out there prediction.
Yeah. It's like
not a
self-regulating.
softball. Right. So you get bonus points. If they don't disagree with you, then you're not going to get as many points for being correct because you picked an easy one, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. But then each of those co-hosts who correctly agree or disagree with you gets a plus 1 point as well. So they're getting points for agreeing or disagreeing. Having no opinion is an automatic 1 point. And that was instituted because basically you have to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Essentially, you have to.
It's just ludicrous to not have an opinion.
But also, if the primary prediction's incorrect, that person also scores negative 1 point.
Correct.
So remember, agreeing or disagreeing doesn't score you any negative. It's only a possible bonus. But your main prediction, you're going to get plus 1 or minus 1.
Which is generally how Russ manages to defy math.
I generally make a little comeback there, but I still don't score well.
Yep.
All right. So, you got to have a quantifiable thing. There is a scoring system. And then rule number 3. All information must be public. So if any of us are making predictions about something of an inside track on, Craig can't predict the name of his play next year when he knows what it's going to be, that kind of stuff.
If I knew that, that'd be great.
Right. Or a book he's writing. It has to be something you don't have any inside information.
No inside information.
Right. And number 4, the order is from winner to loser.
That we read out.
Yeah, they have to pick for next year. Right?
Yeah.
So, exactly. Okay. So, and also a reminder, you can kick your prediction up a notch. So if everybody agrees with you, like say I make a prediction and both Raef and Craig agree with me, I have the option to kick my prediction up a notch. So I could say, I think movie X is going to do really well. It's going to get at least 60 on Metacritic. And you're both like, I agree. Well, what if it was going to get an 80 on a Metacritic and be on the top 5 high-grossing movies of the year? And you might be like, I'm not going to buy that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get those bonus points, be a little more aggressive on my prediction. Make sense?
It does to
I have
me.
a question.
Yes.
And I thought this was it, but it's not written down. Doesn't all predictions have to be concluded within the year?
Well, for the points. If it hasn't happened by the time we record, then it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Because that's not written down.
I think that's sort of
It's sort of implied.
implied.
It's implied. Yes. It's
Which is why Russ can't get any points every time something happens on January 1st.
right.
right.
That's right.
Or 2 years later.
Yeah, well.
It is fun when that does happen, though, when we record.
Or 7
after
years
that.
later.
You're like, I should have been given 2 more points.
I love that listeners will tweet me about it.
Yes.
Hey, Russ, remember that prediction you made in 2019? It just came true. I'm like, great.
Yes.
I want to recap. All right. But, so that scoring system is really important because Craig is our master scorekeeper.
Yeah, well, the spreadsheet is.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to review the predictions we made last year.
Yep.
Craig's going to track the score, and we're going to see who was most
That
accurate.
one time when I screwed up, remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I do. People emailed in. It was
Yes,
very,
it was
like
ugly.
cats and dogs, man. It was serious business.
I do remember that.
Yeah, we had to email out checks. It was very complicated. All right. People, Vegas called us up like, yo, man, you blew the odds out.
You screwed up the odds.
I should have seen the Raef was 50-1. What happened? So anyway.
I think what's the most hilarious about this is I am the losiest person out of this game group. I don't win games. I lose all the time.
you?
All the time. I don't win.
Well, that's actually because usually your strategy is, that sounds neat, let's try that out.
Exactly. But yet somehow in these wonky predictions, I win all the time. So I must have a good strategy.
Well, let's find out.
I don't think I'm going to win this
That's
year.
pretty cocky.
God,
That's
no.
pretty cocky.
Yeah, I'm gonna pose a challenge to both of you because I don't think there's any way mathematically either of you can do worse than I did this
All
year.
right. Well,
I don't know. Okay, let's find out.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start off with round one.
Yep.
In round one, and Raef, you made the first prediction. Raef,
Yep.
what was your prediction in round one for this year to happen?
My prediction is that I will have a performance-ready guitar solo.
Yeah.
I've never played lead solo.
Well, it doesn't say ready. It says this year Raef will play a solo.
Meaning, though, it's not just garbage.
Right.
It has to be what is intended is that I'd have to be comfortable enough to play it live in front of a live audience.
Yes.
Which I'm going to do for you all right now.
No. It said in the D&D live stream.
Oh, okay.
So did that happen?
Which ceased to be.
The D&D, our D&D podcast ended about October.
Yeah.
I knew you guys were going to call that technicality for sure.
Technicality.
Actually, I didn't read it, so I'm not calling it technicality.
Yeah.
I'm just agreeing with Russ because he has this demeanor about him that you can trust him.
I think he deleted the words or something. Because I do remember saying, like, I don't know.
Or something. I would like to go back to rule number one with the quantifiable
It's
measure.
a Google Doc.
Because if we're going to go with or something.
Go back to go check out the drafts. Did anybody go in and delete or something?
Change log.
He deleted or I didn't pay attention because we talked about... No, listen, I'm going to tell you. You said, how are we going to measure that?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know. I'll play it for you.
Now,
and you went, oh, you can play it live in the D&D
true.
session. And I'm like, yeah, sure, something like that.
Sure is what I got.
I know Russ loves when I do this, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull the curtain back. We are currently at Raef's house, which is farther away from us than any place else we could be, because Raef specifically said, let's do it at my house so I can play guitar. So Russ knew this was happening and kept this in his vest pocket.
Well, here's what
until right now.
I think it would be unfair to listeners for you not to play the solo.
Yes.
But we're not
But there's no
gonna-
credit. There's no credit. Yeah. I hear you. He's been saving that one out.
Yes! I can't believe he did this.
Now, here's how I thought he
And I blame you for serving him brandy or whatever you put in that glass. Bourbon.
Here's
would have
how
been worse.
Here's how I thought he was going to play it. I do love this ahead of time. I thought he was going to do this. Raef, that was a wonderful solo.
Oh, and then spring it on?
There's no credit because this isn't the D&D live session. That's where I thought he was going.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what. I will recuse myself from the scoring. So I would recommend you play it, and if you do well enough, or Craig pays you enough, maybe he'll give you the points.
All right, sounds good. Now, do you want to do the... I won't take long. So I'm going to sound a little far away from the mic.
Well, you got to be closer to the mic. You got to lean into it.
I think I'm going to grade you based on how it sounds in the mic.
Yeah, I think it's going to be based on listener feedback.
All right.
That's it. If you get at least 10 tweets saying Raef gets the points, we'll retroactively we'll retroactively score it.
We'll give you the
We'll do this is all the rage on Twitter right now, right? You vote yourself in and out of office. You vote yourself in or out as the CEO.
Right.
We'll vote you in or out as
Vox Populi.
That's right, exactly.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you want to hear the solo just by itself, or as a backing track to the original YouTube video?
We'll define a solo.
Solo means lead solo of a guitar, so this is rhythm. This is the rhythm of the song. That's rhythm guitar. This is the solo.
So do you want a solo, or do you want to...
Well, I think we need to hear the solo.
It needs to be a solo. The prediction definitely had solo in it.
But do you
or does that fall into the or something category?
It falls into the... I'm going to play
Russ is in fine form.
This is excellent bourbon, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Russ is a shark that has scented blood. That's
it's going to be better when he and I are within 1 point. He's going to be like,
oh yeah.
It's right.
Remember when
The
he was
Twitter
really
guys.
drunk? It's kind of like that.
Meat drunk, beef drunk.
That's right.
Okay, do you want backing tracks or just without any backing
No,
tracks?
I think we need to hear just you, man.
I think it's your choice.
All right.
Musician's choice.
But you've recused yourself.
I am
You don't
recusing
count.
myself. I've
It's
recused
gonna
myself.
see. All right,
I
so-
will be listening with the
I'm gonna play
trained
back.
eye of a theatrical professional.
He's listening with his eye, people.
We're gonna do backing.
That's it. I'm not even drinking alcohol. This is ridiculous.
It'll be more fun. For
I will be
Oh, this is
listening.
way
I'm
more
going to
fun than I
listen
thought it
with
was
my
gonna
thumb.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Because it starts real quick.
He's going to play someone else's music here.
Sing it, Craig.
I'm unfamiliar with the tune.
I know the song.
This part I mess up all the time.
Here we go. Get ready. It's the hard part.
We're only gonna do half the song. The solo's at the midpoint. Missed it.
Uh-oh.
Play some rhythm with it.
You're overpowering the vocals.
Yeah, I can't hear the vocals anymore.
No, those were just little intro bits. Here's the actual solo.
Here comes the solo
Yeah,
part. Okay.
I was
Here's
saying-
what we're waiting for.
That was it.
Okay.
All right.
So end the song because I'm confused. So that wasn't like a karaoke thing that was missing the thing you added. The guitar track was in there and you just played with it at the same time.
Yeah, I played over it.
So
Yeah.
from a
So-
singing perspective, I would say I wouldn't give credit for that. I need to
Oh, I
hear
can-
you play it without
Yeah.
the backup
We
track,
can do that too.
which I believe is what I requested.
Okay. Do you want just the solo? Or
Yeah,
all
let's
those
just
little lead-in
yeah, I
bits?
think I would
Just go
like-
right to the good part.
Okay,
Just
ready?
do the part that you said you were going to be able to do.
Well, I said I'll be able to play it during a song, but here we go. Here
But
it
it's
is.
the
You ready?
solo was the key.
That's the solo.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you a little applause. I will defer to Craig for
Would
points.
you say that you would be comfortable playing that
Yes.
in front of people?
Yes,
Okay. I mean, it's way
because-
better than I can do.
I'll
But
tell you what.
then I can't play the guitar.
It's not perfect. There's definitely miss hits and miss drums and
Yeah.
whatever. But part of what I've learned on playing live is it's never perfect, never of the times. There's always a thumbing or a fat finger or a fat whatever. So yeah, I practiced enough. I would play that in front of people.
Yeah.
That's why I played it. By the way, that's why I played it with the backing track because as I was learning, I couldn't play it to that fast.
Right.
Like
yeah.
I was slow. It'd be like
Yeah.
No,
Here's my
Managers
vote,
below.
although I'm recusing myself, but I will just throw this out there for the jury,
Uh-oh.
which is
He's tainting
normally
the jury pool.
strictly by the words. It's a -1 because you didn't do it on the D&D live stream. However,
note to self: I'm paying more attention when you type.
because
You
be-
have to.
because
Go
you,
ahead. Yeah.
because you
He's
you-
got me this
you
way,
did
too.
the effort to actually play here live on the show, which I was really impressed by.
Thank you.
I think we should take you to 0.
Okay.
So not -1, but not +1 because it wasn't really the full prediction. So I'm giving you half credit.
Okay.
That's my vote. There's no
But
bonus
you
points.
recused yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
But he recused himself.
Yeah.
Didn't we both agree with him?
We did, but all that does is, if we're correct, so
We all get a point.
We get a point. So
I
that's up
say
to
he
you.
did it.
Oh, so everybody scores a point there. That's why.
Which, see, Russ isn't thinking like a politician. By giving him a 0, everything stays the same, and
Yeah.
we are on an even playing field.
Right.
But Russ comes across as the bad guy.
Right.
While we
Right.
can say, Raef, well done. Raef gets a point. You and I each get a point.
But
We
you
are
know-
on an even playing
But I
field.
wanna go out there and say-
I am magnanimous.
I think that's fair, but I do think there's a lot of listeners out there who appreciate a game who sticks to the rules, and so I'm that guy.
Yeah, but I do remember Rafe saying, I will play it live, and you
Or
going,
something.
ooh, you could play it during
Yes.
the live stream.
All right,
Exactly.
that's right.
Thank you, Craig.
So that's
Probably fair.
Here's what's great. This is what my entire profession is about. This happens in the real world,
yeah.
where the statute says what Russ is saying, and the judge or the attorney's like, well, the law's clear, it says, but But then we go to the comments on the statutory drafting, and sure enough, we find
That's-
that the legislature's intent was to be played as a performance.
All right. So after round, so we all score 1 point there.
Yeah.
For the part of round one. So Craig, what was your prediction for round 1 of 2022?
give me a second, because I just screwed everything.
Craig's doing complicated scoring even as we speak.
It's not a D6G predictions episode unless Craig goes, wait.
I do think that's the first musical interlude we've had
Yes.
on the show by one of the hosts.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
you're right,
absolutely.
actually.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I played a song that I was practicing for D&D, but not for D6G.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
so
yes.
that was
That's why.
that was a first. I think
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
All right.
That's about the only one I think I'm going to get, by the way.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, Craig,
Okay.
you said-
Mine was
what did
about
you
the
say?
movie industry.
Oh, an industry you know well.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
So I said by the time we record, 2022 will be on pace to recover most of the ground lost from 2019. Obviously, the movie industry's last non-COVID year, right?
Yeah, it seems like you're on
And
track for
it was 70% behind 2019
Ooh.
in 2021. I said it would be within 25%.
that. How we do?
Well, not so great.
Oh no!
In 2019, they made $11,256,000,000.
That's a lot of money.
All right. Well, in 2022, they made $7 billion.
Ooh!
Wow.
Okay,
Ow.
and change.
Okay.
Allow them
Wow.
to change.
Ow.
62% roughly of the 2019 totals. So no. Although,
So what would Geek
it's
Nerdigans say about
expected
that?
to continue to add money because of things like Avatar and Black Panther. There's no way that it's going to add enough to get it
Yeah.
the 13 more percentage points up to that 75%. So that is a big
Wrong. Yes, and so that's a -1 for you. But
That is a
fortunately for
-1.
Rafe and I, we both disagreed with you.
Yes,
each
you did.
scoring +1.
Oops. Yeah, I just gave you 2. Would
Yeah.
you guys want 2? You want
I'll-
2? Oh, I
I'll
just
take
gave
2.
Russ 21.
I can use it. All right. Okay. So, well, my first prediction for last year, I did still have my my quote thing going. So my quote for this prediction was, "You'll have plans and visions for the future. Some of these will work out, others won't." And my prediction was, this one didn't work out, by the way. Spoiler. My prediction was that Into the Spider-Verse 2, one of my favorite movies. Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite movies. The second version of that would release in 2022 because at the time it was scheduled for December of this year. And I said it would outperform all the other hero movies in 2022. However, it didn't even release. It's actually coming out in 2023 now. So that's a big wrong for me.
Wrong!
-1 for me. And
-1 for Russ.
both of you disagreed with me, so +1 for each of you. So
That one stayed in the chamber.
yeah, so Rafe, I think. So Craig, after round 1, I'll give you a chance to do the calculations there. But my instinct is Rafe's got a nice lead here, thanks to that salvation of on the finish line guitar solo.
It's crazy here. Yes, Rafe is leading with 3, and you and I each have 1.
All right, so
Steady
that's
lead.
rough.
Ouch.
Let's see what's going to happen in round 2. All right, so Rafe, what was your first prediction for round 2?
Last year, I had no premonition about Craig's nuts. Sometimes I do. They just come to me. I don't know why.
Oh,
If
let's
only you
not
thought about a
even-
knee.
Yes, that's right. But this was a premonition about Spider-Man following Russ. Oh, what the listeners need to know who don't follow us, who do these, we don't share each other's predictions.
These are all predictions made in secret, so we have no understanding.
We have no idea.
What we were going to talk about.
I claimed that Spider-Man No Way Home would do the same or better than Far From Home, and Far From Home scored 95% audience score using Rotten Tomatoes as the guide. Looked it up this morning, and Rotten Tomatoes scores Spider-Man No Way Home with a Rotten Tomato or critic score of 93%. So I got a little worried. But then the audience score came in at 98%.
So you beat by 3%.
Yes. And what I learned from this is Russ's typing was accurate during this. Because he did put audience score correctly.
I did.
Yes.
So Raef gets a point. However, Craig and I also agreed with you.
Yep.
Yes.
So you only get 1 point.
You were like, that's a no-brainer.
And we also all get 1 point. So that's a wash.
That's a wash.
But well predicted, sir. You didn't have any mulligans there, though, which is good because you're in the lead. That's a good play.
Yep.
Craig, what was your second prediction for last year?
Oh, jeez. My second prediction. Okay. Ready?
Here we go.
Speaking of my nuts or not, as the case may be.
I like this.
I said that I would continue playing in the old man's soccer league in Bedford.
Yeah.
And I said I would. You guys were particularly unkind, and you both agreed that I would score 1 goal.
Yeah.
Forcing me thus to go and say I would score 2 goals.
Right. Is this how you're going to blame your knee injury?
So let me bring you back to my first day back on the team.
Oh, here we go.
And it was very early in the season, in the springtime. It was May, and not enough people were playing yet, so we weren't on the full field. We were playing half field with small goals, which meant no goalies. And I had a breakaway. And I was dribbling down the field, going straight for the goal.
Yeah.
And there was a defender coming at me.
Ooh.
And I went to drift to the side with the ball. And then my knee went pop! And I fell to the ground. And I had damaged the ACL tendon and suffered not severe, minor damage to my the ligaments, and the meniscus is what is it now? It's cartilage.
The cartilage.
Yep. So I ended up not being able to play soccer anymore and had to go to PT. And for the rest of the summer, I recovered enough to be able to take my walking trip in Scotland and Ireland, so that was nice. The rest of the summer, I worked my way back up. I was running again. I was full speed with that. I was hiking. Everything was good. Rehearsals in late September, I was showing a student how to pirouette, and my ACL snapped completely. And in that snap, my meniscus, that piece of cartilage that cushions the upper leg from the lower leg, tore, folded, and stuck in that folded position.
I know, I'm holding my knee.
Like a door wedge keeping a door open.
I need more bourbon.
So, and severe damage to the surrounding cartilage as well, requiring massive reconstructive surgery, the ACL to be replaced, and I am still walking with a horrific limp, in pain, and on crazy meds that mean I can't partake of the booze everybody else is enjoying. So, not only did I not score any points, I blame the two of you for the last 8 weeks of my life.
See, that's not what I heard. I heard that pirouetting is more dangerous than soccer. That's what I heard.
Yes.
Well, that's not wrong.
Well, yes. So that's bad luck for you, but
that's a minus
good luck
one
for us
me.
because it's -1 for you.
Yeah.
But Raef and I both disagree with you.
Exactly.
Figuring some kind of
Indeed.
something would happen to you.
Indeed.
We just do the 2 goals with
There was
insanity.
nothing.
Yeah.
And are you saying that if you only did 1 goal, you wouldn't have pushed yourself so hard because you asked you for the 2?
No,
you pushed it hard that
are
one
you
day and
kidding?
popped
I
the knee.
saw that open goal and I got all excited and I wasn't
There you
thinking anyway self-preservation wise.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Now, can I just really quickly? Can we go back now, Raef? Did you get your second prediction correct?
I did.
But
did,
we
yes.
both said
And we both
agreed.
Yeah,
Both
so
agreed.
That's 3
Yep.
points.
All right.
1 point
Yep,
for everybody.
yep. All right.
All right.
Russ, what
And then,
about you?
Okay, so in my third, not a really prestigious start here for me. So my quote here was, "In order to fight monsters, we created monsters of our own."
Oh, that's
I was doing
right.
movie quotes. However, I said that I will paint at least 4 factions of Monster Apocalypse to completion, and I will get at least 10 games. And the reason I was so excited about this was I had just backed the full board game Kickstarter of Monster Apocalypse from our friends at Mythic Games with Joan of Arc. We love this game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to get the full set.
Do love
I'm
Mythic
going to
Games.
paint the heck out of these things. I painted a bunch of my Joan of Arc stuff. But sadly, and actually this is kind of a big deal right now, the Kickstarter has been massively delayed. It was supposed to be delivered in spring of 2022. It's not even on the radar still. They've had massive layoffs. Our friends at Mythic are having a really hard time right now. Everybody's talking trash about them. I just think it's one of those things where I don't think a lot of the
There was a lot of shade around the other one, too.
Stuff has happened, so I don't cast any blame. It's just I didn't get my game, so I didn't get to do it. So I'm still optimistic it's going to come. More about that in predictions later. However, long story short, on the downside, I was wrong. The upside, my knees stayed together. So
well, that's good. See?
So I was definitely wrong about that.
Yeah.
And I love that Raef disagreed with me, but he said, you'll still win if you never play me. So Raef didn't want to be like, I won't play you so you lose. He's just like, I don't feel like playing. So in any case...
so what did I agree with
one,
you?
No, you both disagreed with me. So,
okay.
So -1 for me,
one.
+1 for each of you.
Okay.
We could tell that the Russ enthusiasm was kicking in.
I'm still excited for that. I can't wait. I'm so frustrated because the Privateer is producing on onesie Tuesday, and I want the whole set. And I'm like, damn it. I can't wait. I'm optimistic because Joan of Arc was so good. So, all right, Craig, how are we looking at round 2's end?
At round 2's end, Russ has got a solid 2.
Woohoo! Better than 0.
I have a solid 2.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
And Raef has 6.
What?
Yep.
That is not possible.
Yep.
Why would you give him the guitar?
I'm giving him math.
All right.
Is all I'm giving him.
Right.
Round 3, Raef, what was your third prediction?
Same, I ran afoul the same thing you did. Robinson Crusoe, the board game, was a Kickstarter game founder, actually. I like this game. It's a survival game, and it's very hard. It's co-op. You play all of you versus the AI, and you lose often, which I thought would be exciting. I never backed Kickstarters, but I backed this. And it comes with all the bling you could imagine. I said I would play it at least once, and it would include Christian Flores in 2022. But due to COVID, mainly in China, with the warehouses being shut down, I still do not have the board game. But I do get very good updates month to month, very detailed updates, so I'm confident it should arrive in 2023.
Okay.
So Craig
I did
agreed
not
with you.
play.
I disagreed with you. So that looks like to me -1 for Raef, 0 for Craig, +1 for me.
Yep.
A little bit of ground recovered there.
Yep.
All right, Craig, what was your third prediction?
Okay, so prediction number 3.
Yeah.
So first of all,
Here come the excuses.
yeah, no, I'm not giving excuses. I'm just saying that the world is a really crazy place, and information is whatever you want it to be.
I think that's correct.
Okay. Number 3, I said, so consumers spent an estimated $15.7 billion, according to whatever I was looking at, on streaming services in 2021, and an estimated $4 billion on movies.
Yeah.
And I said 2022 would see a drop in streaming and a rise in movie theater attendance. All of the numbers that I found this year trying to figure out how I did, it makes it look like last year that I don't know where I did. Well, actually, I linked to a thing. So I found the numbers and they were completely wrong. They were completely wrong. Okay. However, most of the sources that I found this year said the industry was worth an estimated $375 billion last year. So 15 billion, 375 billion. Who knows? Okay. But it doesn't matter. Because although this year is up, it is not up nearly enough. First of all, the streaming went up, not down.
Yeah.
Right.
And the movies went up, but not nearly
Not as
enough.
much.
And so that's a big old boo for me.
Goose
I
egg
remember
for you.
this prediction for you because you were frustrated, which I am too, that you want to watch this new show and they make you subscribe to a new streaming service.
Well,
and you were like, oh.
No, I honestly think... So I think a lot of my predictions are like
Will?
too
I
far.
want to will the world.
No, I think they're too close. I think they will happen because I
Like
do
my
think
nuclear prediction.
Exactly. Yeah. Or my prediction that everything would end up on our phones.
Yeah, sure.
So it's and you guys, yeah.
Yes, folks, this show is that old.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
That's right.
Yeah.
Someday we're all going to have phones that play music.
And have GPS and photography.
And we
won't
work on our
be carrying
watches,
around a
too.
camera anymore. Now you're just a fool, Craig.
And he said,
That's just stardust in your eyes.
although it does do this, he said photography,
I did.
not the other.
Yeah. So,
Thank you for clarifying. I guess.
all right.
Okay.
So, Craig, that means a -1 for you, Saturday.
That is a
The
negative
good
one
news
for
is,
me.
for Rafe and I, we both disagreed with you.
Yeah.
So, +1 for Rafe and +1 for me.
Indeed.
All right. So, here's mine. I think we're going to have an argument about this, but here we go.
Okay.
So, my quote was, "You were so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they should." My favorite Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park quote.
That's a good one.
So I said a major in bold, a major physical game publisher. So RPG, board game, miniature game, card games, like Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, Asmodee, Simon, will release an NFT, that's non-fungible token, technology-powered accessory game or add-on. So I've included 3 links to various ones. So Exploding Kittens I have an article link there that become the latest board game to get into NFTs. I have NFTs and blockchain are coming to your tabletop RPGs from Bell of Lost Souls. I have Hasbro teams with WoW to launch a Monopoly NFT game. And I have Simon set to release Zombicide NFTs as well. So
have they released them yet, or are they going to release them? I mean, these links all seem to be very self-serving and vague.
Well, this is what I got. I defer to the jury.
What? You defer to the jury.
And I will sip my bourbon.
I don't know. Did we all disagree with you?
Here's it. Craig agreed and Rafe disagreed. Go.
Oh.
Yes. So I always like Russ because he does have a skill to see the future, but again, he's a little off. I did some research. Exploding Kittens was the closest.
Yeah.
And they did. I can't tell
if
they've
gameplay?
released it yet. No. They included an NFT. And
I said accessory or add-on.
Update the listener to NFT. I actually had to relook it up.
So NFTs, they were sort of a big deal around the time we recorded last time. They were a big deal going into the first half of this year. They kind of crashed and burned about midway part of the year. But they were the hotness. The idea behind an NFT is it's a variant on blockchain, which is what powers Bitcoin.
Yep.
And the idea is you can attach this unique NFT to art or a digital object, and you own a unique version of it, right? You own the license to it and the rights to it. So the big thing was art. People were drawing those crazy art pictures and variants on art pictures, and you could own that.
And people were like spending like millions.
Millions.
Oh yeah.
And so I just knew it would only be a matter of time before some board game publisher did the same thing, even with their board game art, or they make a full NFT card game online, or some kind of NFT where you bring it to the board game in an app and somebody does something. And so I felt one of the major publishers, and at least 4 of them talked about it openly.
They did.
Whether they actually did it or not.
Correct me. Check the record, Rafe. Was the prediction that they would talk about it?
No,
they released it. I did say
they would release it.
So I think Exploding Kittens is the only one that
Did they
might
release it?
Might have. So
How do we not know that?
So I did some research to try to indicate, like, does a current copy, and by the way, I don't think it's Exploding Kittens, it's Happy Salmon is the NFT, and that's a game made by Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, but I said it was just one of the publishers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is you're going to screw yourself in your own logical argument from before, because they're not listed as a publisher.
Well, that's an example.
Oh, but it doesn't say that, Russ.
But actually, I believe Exploding Kittens is owned by Asmodee.
Oh, okay, then you would be
Are
correct.
they?
I believe they are.
Then you'd be correct. But here's an interesting thing, Russ. And this screws me, by the way, what I'm about to say.
All right.
I found on the back of the box art,
Yes.
it says, inside is a special bonus code.
Oh, so it sounds like it's been released.
in NFT.
Exploding Kittens is published by somebody called The Oatmeal.
No, the oatmeal's a blog.
Exploding
No,
Kittens.
I couldn't figure out who...
First published by The Oatmeal.
I think Exploding Kittens is Exploding
publishers?
Kittens. The company is called Exploding Kittens.
I actually own this game.
So do I. It's a great game.
It's a great game. Noble Knight Games. That's just a retailer.
TV series adaptation.
Right? It does need a TV series. That'd be awesome.
You know what? It's moot. Because Mai said the spirit of the rule. Clearly, Russ, we know that the spirit of what you were trying to say was a major publisher.
Yes.
I would argue on your behalf, even though I lose a point.
Exploding Kittens is a pretty big
they're a very big publisher.
Yeah, big
The
game.
question becomes...
Well, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're a big game, even though you didn't technically write it down. But
I appreciate that.
I knew the spirit of your rule.
Ah, look at
Look at
that.
He's doing
The
a little,
bigger man.
Little passive-aggressive bigger man play.
Not even,
I like it.
not even passive aggressive. aggressive.
Yeah,
It is
I like
absolutely
I respect it.
actively
Very
aggressive.
very loyally. I like it.
Okay,
All right.
on the back of the box, it does say something. It doesn't say NFT.
All right.
It could be a coupon.
Well, I
don't
defer to
know.
you. I think it's the NFT.
What do you think, Russ? I mean, Craig.
I would defer to you because I have no idea. I didn't research this one because I figured Russ would have some black and white.
It's not black and
Evidence.
white.
It's not.
They were
black
all
and
getting
white.
ready to do it. I
They're
don't
all
know if
ready
they
to
actually
do it.
Pulled it off.
They're ready
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know that it happened in 2023.
Because then it all fell apart.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's give him the point, which I lose.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give him the point, and Russ can research because his Google Foo skills are better than mine to see if that digital code is actually
All right, I'll
an
look at
NFT.
So that means I'm +2 because Rafe disagreed with me.
Oh, I know.
And you're +1, and Rafe is +0. But thank you, Rafe, for that supporting argument. All right, round 4.
Well, don't you want to know
Yeah,
how
what's happening?
things stand?
How are things doing? Has the standings changed? at all?
They have.
Oh, wow.
Because Russ is now at 6 points.
Woo!
Rafe is at 6 points.
Oh,
And
made it a
I am
game.
at 2 points.
Hey, anything can happen.
And continuing to my downward trend.
All right,
Anything can
round
happen.
4. Anything can
All right.
happen here. Rafe, what'd you say?
Okay, here we go. I will play 2 Tabletop GW games, miniature game, and 3 games of War Machine. Good news, played more than 2 Tabletop GW games. I played 2 Tabletop GW games in the past month. So played more than that. Played Age of Sigmar. But I played 0 games of War Machine.
Oh.
So
Ouch.
I am a fail.
-1.
And we both agreed with you, so we get nothing for that.
Oof.
You know why? I think we made him up. I think I remember us making you up the ante because you just said GW originally, and we
yeah.
said, sure, you will. And that's when you added War Machine, which cost you the point.
Cost me the point, yep.
All right, Craig.
Okay, round 4, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is okay. So this one comes with an addendum at the end, which is an
Addendum.
an indictment of the entire internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Last
internet.
year, I said games and puzzles market, which includes board games, RPGs, card games, and puzzle games, according to one source, saw a bump in value from $10 billion in 2019 to $11.7 billion in 2021. I believed that growth would not continue, and we would see the numbers stabilize or even drop. And again, the numbers that I could find this year were completely off from the numbers that I found last year, even about last year's numbers, which suggest that the internet lies to you all the time.
Right. Believe the data unless the data is fluid.
Exactly. But all sources indicate a continuation in the rise in the market, so that's a big old negative. However, I don't think you can trust anything you find on the internet.
You just
That's the
discovered this
lesson.
now.
That's
You're-
the life lesson that
your
I've
ripe old
learned.
Page.
So
Then you're in for it.
big old -1 for moi.
And both Rafe and I disagree with you.
Yeah.
So
So
+1 for
boom
each. Little
and
high five
boom.
there with the
There
Granger.
you go.
All right.
It's a classic Rafe and Russ. You're like, no way.
Yeah. Well, it's classic. Craig has no clue what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
He's on the internet, Rafe. He believes what he sees over there. All right, here we go. My quote for round what are we on, round 4?
Yep.
My quote for round 4 was, "Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat." All right, and I predicted Microsoft will announce a new Xbox technology in 2022 that can either be built into TVs by OEMs and/or be on a USB stick-sized device that sticks into a USB port of a TV. With this, you can stream xCloud games directly to your TV. All you need is a Bluetooth Xbox controller. Basically, Microsoft will end the console war by becoming the Netflix of video games, making consoles obsolete the way Netflix made DVD players obsolete. Now, the funny thing is, this has absolutely happened.
I know.
So,
It's
my
amazing.
2022 Samsung TV I got this summer, actually, I can Bluetooth pair a controller to it and play Xbox games on it with nothing else. And the way I got that new TV was my wife hated the fact that in our bedroom there was an Xbox there.
Extra box.
And I said, I can get rid of that Xbox for you if you let me get a new Samsung TV. And she said, sure. And here we are. So not only does it work, but it actually, and you can play any of the Xbox xCloud games, which is anything on Game Pass, and they play great. They play, and they're serving from an Xbox Series X, so you actually get better resolution than you would on an old Xbox. So it's really quite impressive. So
that was a great prediction.
Rafe, but you both agreed with me. So it's not as big a win as I was hoping.
You were dialed in, and I still remember the day you told me, you're like, Rafe, we're not even going to need a disc to play a game. I'm like, wait, what? You're like, you're going to be able to download it right to your
Stream.
Xbox.
Well, now they stream.
That blew my
That's
mind.
crazy. Yes. I know when
You
think about where
predicted
it comes
that.
from. All right, so everybody gets +1 for that one. All right, Craig, how are we doing at the end of round 4?
Well, Russ, at the end of round 4, Russ is ahead at 8 points.
Oh.
Whoa!
Rafe is trailing by 1 at 7 points. And Craig is holding steady at 2. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 2 points. Told ya.
All right,
All right.
here we go.
All right, round 5 for me.
Yeah.
Kind of a simple one. Again, you guys agreed. I will continue to be a classic WoW raider, and I'll bring my second tune through to be able to raid. That did happen. I had Stony Shell, the gnome female warrior, was my raiding tune. And then I brought through, I can't remember his full name, Stony something, who's a gnome mage, and he did raid through TBC. So that all happened.
And we both agree.
We all agreed, so everybody gets
We
1.
both agreed.
Yay!
It's a wash, but our scores all look more impressive.
That's right.
Yeah, you better believe it, man. That 3 is looking mighty
Get out
cool.
of the basement. All right, Craig, what'd you say?
We are into round 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Back for more, baby, which I believe refers to the fact that I did this exact same prediction for 2021.
Yeah.
I said that because there have been no new releases for a while for Song of Ice and Fire, the board game from Simon, and activity on their channels had all but stopped since last summer, which was all true. I believed that they were going to come out like gangbusters in 2022 with the entire Others or White Walker army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
No, it didn't.
No.
They did come out with a whole new army. Sunspear and the Martells just dropped within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Sadly, no White Walkers, and I give up this year. I will not be making this prediction for a third time, which probably means, guys,
It'll come out.
It'll
come
definitely
out.
fall. Yep.
All right.
Without a doubt.
So, Rafe, that's Craig. Rafe and I both disagreed with you.
Yeah.
So that's sadly
Again.
-1 for you, Craig, and +1 for Rafe.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I got uncharacteristically negative this next prediction. So I'm kind of glad the result is what it is. I said that my quote was, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." And I said I was bummed to have to do this. But 2 conventions I was predicting, 2 conventions that we know and love will announce they're permanently ending in 2022. Not necessarily the biggest, but ones we know. So historically we've attended it, or they have a historical attendance, of over 1,000 people. The only one I could find that actually did cancel, seemingly forever, or at least for a long time, is E3, which we never attended, but it's the largest video game
It's a
conference.
big conference.
Yeah. But I couldn't find any ones that we've gone through.
No.
Now, I put...
Yeah.
We don't know of this one, so it doesn't
Yeah.
count. But I put down that PAX South. We don't know about
PAX South did.
But there's
did
a different
1,000.
PAX that canceled. Is it the PAX board game that canceled?
No,
PAX
PAX Unplugged is
Unplugged?
still there. No, they just happened this past month. But
Okay.
I think PAX Australia might be dead.
No, that wouldn't count for this.
Yeah, but
was there a PAX in the States?
There is a PAX South that's gone. That did go.
Is that the one that I was
Yeah,
thinking
the one
of?
in Texas. Yeah, that did go. You're right. That was a good one. But I don't think there's 2. I predicted 2.
No, yeah.
I couldn't find 2. So
All right.
I think that's... Now, Rafe, you agreed with me. So
Yep.
nothing for you. But Craig, you disagreed. So I'm -1 and Craig, you're +1. So
I was just
That's a
a
standing
little
change.
ball of sunshine and rainbows on that one.
yeah. So I'm going to try. I don't do well when I go negative, so I'm going to stop that.
Yeah, that's true. That's not your normal.
I'm not a negative guy.
That's not your normal.
Yeah, you know
vein.
what? That just cost you. Oh, now it's a tie.
What are we at now?
9-9, you guys, neck and neck,
Cost of the
and
tie.
I've got a big old 3
Hey, you're
coming up
climbing
on
out of the
my-
basement.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, anything can happen.
Okay.
Anything
Raef,
happen.
round 6.
Since 7 is the sign of Nurgle, why did I put that? Oh, I think maybe round 7 it should have been maybe.
Wait, it's round 6.
I will paint Lord Mortarion of my Nurgle army.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I have something to show you.
I was going to say, I think I see a Mortarion with only 1 wing and no primer.
Primer.
Russ, what do you see?
I don't think this is debatable. Hey, we got a gray model.
Wait, we got a gray plastic.
I'm gonna take a picture so
And
we can.
when I picked it up, the wing fell off.
All right, Raef, here we go. There you go. Show him. There he is. All right. There's a live tweet.
It's
All
a
right.
great, it's a great,
All right.
it's
It's
a great model.
isn't it? Isn't it? a
I
great
have
model?
that model somewhere
Yeah,
in my
so
attic.
we're gonna tweet this later when the show goes up.
Much like how Russ goes negative, whenever I make predictions that are clearly within my control, they often fail. The guitar one worked, but this one failed.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Craig, you and I both agreed with them actually.
Well, how do you not? Like, you don't want to be
supportive.
mean.
So Rafe gets -1, but you and I get 0 for that one.
Yeah.
All right, Craig, what was your prediction?
What was my prediction?
Oh, you were just as bad as I was.
Yeah, it was bad. I said of PAX East, Adepticon, and Gen Con, at least 2 of the. What's my
Actually,
official? You read it
I think
because
that'd be correct. So Craig predicted that he predicted specific conventions. He said
Yeah.
PAX East, Adepticon, and Gen Con.
Yeah.
Of those 3 conventions, at least 2 will either be canceled in 2022 or require proof of vaccination and
Yeah.
test won't help. I know that's true.
Yeah.
Because PAX East and Gen Con both required vaccination.
Yes.
I think Adepticon, I can't
I
remember.
believe Adepticon did all.
But those 2 at least did.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. Now, Rafe, you agreed with him, but I disagreed. So that's 2 points for you,
Okay,
Craig,
So 2 points.
and 1 point for Rafe.
That's going to be good for my lead over you, Russ.
Rafe gets a point, and Russ not so much.
All right. So this one's interesting. So I had another quote. My quote was, "Don't adventures ever have an end? I suppose not. Someone else always has to carry on the story." And I predicted that Lord of the Rings, the series, coming to Amazon in 2022, will actually be solid. And I said, to measure this, the Metacritic scores will beat the first Hobbit Smaug movie, which was a 66, but not reach the lofty goals of the Lord of the Rings movies, which were 92, 87, and 94 respectively. The Metacritic score for Rings of Power, 71.
Yeah.
I thread that needle, baby.
You did.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you
Which is
both-
ludicrous because the audience score on Metacritic is like around a 20.
Well, but the audience, to be fair, there's a bunch of politics going on.
That's
there.
true.
That's not reflective of the actual story
No,
being told.
I would give that. I would have given that show like a D+, which
Yeah.
still would have given you your stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
it's better. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it was better than Smog.
I
You
don't
did
remember
thread that needle.
Smog.
Nice.
All right. So, and you both disagreed with me, which is great for me.
Yeah,
I
look
get
at
plus
that.
3 on that one.
Yeah.
That's a good
And you
one
guys
for
get
you.
nada. So,
Yeah.
so I got lucky. I mean, that was a tough prediction. I got very lucky there. But I'll take it.
Rafe, that did not.
That cost me.
That did not go well.
That
for
might
you.
cost me my throne.
It could very.
All
well.
right. I was excited to see that. I didn't think
Yeah.
that was going to be so.
That might cost me the throne even without exploding kidding. Given him
Right
that
now,
one.
I don't know that. Yeah.
All right. What's the score right now?
Well, right now,
Going
going
to round
into
seven, final round.
going into the final round,
Yeah.
Ross is ahead at 12.
Woo! I'll take that. That's
Rafe's
a high score.
at 9, and I'm now at 5.
Ooh, Craig's climbing up.
All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Here we
another
are.
one. Here's another one of mine, completely within my control.
Round 7. What do you
no,
think?
Rafe.
And what I love about these is Russ is always like, "Well, how are we going to know you're going to do this?" And then he's like, "Wait, I trust you. I will meditate 100 times in 2022." Did not happen.
Rafe says no.
Did not happen. I can't even tell you how many times because I got so tired of logging it that I just forgot to log it. But even if I didn't, I don't think it was 100 times.
Well, that means Rafe gets a -1.
Yeah.
Now, Craig, you agreed with him, so you get
Okay.
0.
Yeah.
But I disagreed, so I get plus 1.
That's just
I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I was
it's just
feeling negative.
mean.
Why didn't feel like you were a meditating guy? And apparently, my read on you is correct.
It's correct. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, you're very self-aware. It's just that you don't feel like you need meditation.
That's right.
So
Apparently.
okay. Craig, what was your final prediction last
here
week?
we go.
Yeah,
Ready?
yeah.
I said the Star Wars Legion is going to delve into new territory in 2023. Currently, they have models from the original 3 movies and the 3 prequels. They have models from Rebels, and they have models from Rogue One.
And Clone Wars.
And no, not yet.
No, you said that in there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
oh, see, I'm working off my original notes,
it's okay.
but
It's okay.
No. You've got the more
okay.
up to date notes. But I said in 2023 they're going to branch out.
2022.
In 2022. Thank you. That's the wrong date.
Oh, wow.
They're going to feature new characters or units from additional sources, either the sequel trilogy, Mandalorian, Bad Batch, and
I've seen Mandalorian stuff.
There's Mandalorian stuff now.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, this is a big one for you.
Boba Fett, the TV show, is now got a model that just came out this week. So
The Mando stuff is really cool.
yeah.
All right, so nicely played.
Yeah.
So Rafe and I both disagreed with you.
We disagree.
That's a
Well,
three-pointer.
I try
for
to
you.
pull. I try to pull the big numbers. You know.
Yeah,
That was
we
good.
get so you get +3 and Rafe and I get 0.
Yeah.
All right, the final prediction that we made. This is mine here.
Yeah.
Now this one's going to be a little debatable.
Oh, another one.
but here we go.
These are so
I
much
don't think
fun.
it's debatable. I've
Okay.
been following this.
It's always darkest before the dawn. Here's my prediction.
Yep.
The growing pressure. I got really weird on this one. Stick with me. I always like my 7th prediction to be some kind of social
yes.
science technology thing.
Yeah.
Observation.
The growing pressure of the fossil fuel energy crisis and the rollout of things like the infrastructure bill, which will further support electric vehicles, will allow clean nuclear power to become into its own as an acknowledged low-carbon, eco-friendly, limitless energy source. So my prediction was sometime in 2022, a significant nuclear power initiative will be announced by the U.S. government as a partnership between public and private sectors. It will be so well received that energy prices will drop, and this is the part that might not be true.
Yeah, that could be
In
not
anticipation of the USA reduced dependence on fossil fuels. Articles will point to this being the cause of the drop, and a cabinet secretary or higher will announce this.
No.
That part was pretty prescient, though.
Yeah.
So what actually happened was, I was pretty damn close on this, though.
Yeah.
A U.S. Department of Energy Secretary, so Jennifer Granholm, she just announced that a major scientific breakthrough has occurred in nuclear fusion. And if you watch that press conference, she talks about how it's going to be a partnership between the government and the private sector to do this. I think 80% of my predictions here, the only part that didn't happen is fuel prices haven't dropped yet because this announcement just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And they're still talking about it being 10 years away from actually being impactful.
Yeah.
So I was close.
No, you were spot on, except for that last little
Except if I
detail
hadn't
you
said the
added.
price drop, I think I'd have been okay.
Yeah, I agree.
That's one that I don't think either of us would have challenged you to push you further on that. You probably didn't need to
just
add the
included
price
it.
drop.
No, he didn't. He just includes
I
it.
included it because I felt like we need the price drop. Like, I'm really worried about Europe and everything right now with the pending cold
Well,
winter.
it's interesting also because if you look at it, there's an awful lot of mothballed nuclear plants that are now being brought back online because
I know,
it's such
'cause
a
we need
good
the power.
source of power.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
So, I mean, I assume I don't get it.
I would
I
think
mean, I was
not.
a little
Only
too in the weeds.
There were
should've
no
pulled back.
articles talking about the price drop.
No, the price
and-
drop hasn't happened
Yeah.
yet.
Yep.
That might happen next year. So I get -1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rafe, you agreed, so sadly you get 0. But
Yep.
Craig, you get +1.
Uh-oh.
So the results are in. That's it. That's the
it.
final
That's
prediction we
round
made for
7.
2022.
Yeah.
Craig, what are the final standings? Who's our?
Well, we'll go with loser first.
Okay, Craig, what was the final score?
Well, actually, we didn't do the bonus yet.
No, we do the bonus.
We do the bonus.
The bonus comes in after.
So we're not done.
Oh, it's not the done. It's so what's the standings going into
The
the bonus?
standings
round?
going into the bonus round. Tied for last place are Rafe and Craig at 8.
Oh,
Thank you, Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, that boosted
And
you.
Russ is at 12. So
wow!
really,
This is my best year. I can't not have my quotes. Then the quotes worked.
yeah.
Quotes work this
All right.
year.
So now here's how the bonus round works.
Yeah.
You get, if you can predict, so we have this bonus round.
Yes.
We predict who will be in the lead before the bonus round.
Last year we did.
Yeah, and if you predicted it, you get +1 point, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rafe, you predicted who's going to be in the lead.
Craig.
Yeah, you get
Craig,
nothing.
you predicted.
I think I predicted you.
You did. So, Craig, you're ending the game with 9 points, and I
Nice.
predicted Rafe, so I get no bonus. So the final score, I believe, is I actually won.
You
did.
For the first time in, it feels like a decade.
Yeah,
I have to-
yeah,
I have
at
to
least.
look.
It may be forever.
Oh
no, actually,
No,
when
I
we
think-
first started
I think
this,
in the
you were
early
rocking.
days I was
he would,
okay.
he
Yeah.
would get it.
Mostly because I figured out the mechanics evolved too to stymie some of my tricks.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Actually, there were a couple years where I felt really, really annoyed and frustrated with this whole thing because of Russ.
Yeah.
But it worked
Yeah.
out. So I ended with 12. Craig, you came in second now because of the bonus
Yeah,
structure.
with 9.
With 9, which is kind of meant to be a tiebreaker anyway.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
Raef,
right.
you are sadly in last place.
Last
But
place.
although I will say this might be one of the closest years.
It's absolutely one of the
Normally,
closest years.
the rest of us, the winner is like around 10 or higher, and the rest of us are like in the basement.
It's
Like,
ludicrous.
I've been negative.
It is ludicrous with how many of my predictions I got wrong that I'm in second place at all.
Right.
I mean, I've been negative at the end of some of these things.
Yes, you
I
have.
clearly
Yes,
recall
you
being
absolutely
blue.
Well, I relinquished my crown to you, Russ.
Well, thank you, sir.
It was well,
Yes,
well
indeed.
won.
And
fought, well won.
so there you have it. There's the
Yep.
prediction results for 2022.
Oh,
Stay tuned
Nostradamus.
For
Russ
next year's.
looking at his crystal balls.
Wow, I see how this is. Let's see what's going to happen next year.
Next year.
Let's see if I can do as well next time. We'll see what
Good
happens.
luck.
All right.
All right.
Achievement unlocked! You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode, the podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at info@thed6generation.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Thanks for listening and happy gaming.